Peace. This is Brother Hatim, and I'd like to welcome you to Folk Tales for Grown Folks. And I'm going to continue the saga. This one is entitled The Jackal and the Lion, Part 2. Now, those that's been following, you know that the jackal has showed up in several of my stories. Of course, this whole segment started off as Giami Journey, so I want to encourage you to listen to Giami Journey, especially my Freestyle Fridays. And I know I haven't been doing it lately, but, there's a lot of things going on. I stay pretty busy, and I'm trying to organize my life. But I want to get all these stories down because I have a slew of them. Some of them I created, some of them I adapted, some of them are just old African folk tales or Native American folk tales or European folk tales. But I honestly believe that if we want to change the world, we have to start changing the stories and we have to start adding stories so that our children will sit down and listen because there is nothing more powerful than a grown person actually telling a child a story rather than just letting them get the stories on TV because they'll start watching TV differently and expecting different things if they are getting stories from their elders. So here's a story. Now, in the last story, I kind of started backwards with the jackal because that's the way it was given to me, backwards. Because of course we know that the jackal was trying to avoid Brother Lion, but we didn't understand why because I said that the jackal and the lion used to be friends. But this is where the fallout happened, right here and now. Now remember, the jackal, like all the other trickster animals, has a saying, and it goes like this: You might be bigger than me. You might be stronger than me. Hell, you might even be faster than me. But you will never, ever outthink me. Now, that's a message to all of us. Although the Jackal and Brother Rabbit and Brothers Anansi and Brother Coyote, they might not be the most righteous characters in the world, but the motto is something that all of us could use in our lives. You might be bigger than me. You might be stronger than me. Hell, you might even be faster than me. But you will never, ever outthink me. Because my mind, unlike the other things that I mentioned, is something that I could change. I could work out every day and I might not never be as strong as you. And at my age, I know I ain't growing no more, so I know I'm not gonna get as big as you. And you might always be faster than me, but I could always, always increase my intelligence, increase my knowledge, and build on my wisdom. And use that wisdom as a lever to give me an advantage in life. So here we go. Now, during this time, Brother Lion and Brother Jackal were good friends, and both of them would basically hunt together. Lion would hunt and eat a little bit and let Jackal go on and eat some. And sometimes they ate together. It was cool with both their families was doing good. But every year on the plains in Africa, there would be this season called the hungry season where things would go dry and the animals would migrate and the lion and the jackal will be stuck for a period of about 3 months being very hungry. Now the jackal, being somebody who was very observant, started noticing this cycle and came up with an idea. So he approached his friend Lion and he said, Brother Lion, yes, Brother Jackal, bruh, this thing called the hungry season pops up every year. He said, hungry season? Because the lion is oblivious to this cycle. I mean, even though it happens all the time, because lion does not have to really pay attention to a lot of these things because he has the physical skills to overcome most situations. So he don't notice that there's a hungry season every year. He just knows there's a time when he go hungry and he's not even keeping track of it. But Brother Jackal, on the other hand, because he's shaped funny and he can't run that fast, he got to pay attention to everything. So he says, Brother Lion, Now you know I'm a horrible hunter, and you are the best. And the lion says, yes, I am. That's one of the lion's downfalls. He's very proud of his physical skills. He's so proud of it that he don't focus on his mental skills at all. And Jackyll plays into this, plays it up. So, as the Jackyll was talking, he said, Brother Lion, let's make a deal. He said, look, I've been studying, and I know that this is this thing called the hungry season that comes around every year. And I'm getting tired of getting caught up in it. We go months without eating and might eat once every 2 weeks, and I want to make sure there's enough food. Now, I have been watching, and I know that if I boil food, I can preserve it longer. I know if I sit food out after I treat it in the sun, that it will dry out and it will last a long time. I know that if I go down to the salt flats and get some salt, that I could preserve this food. And I think that if we start hunting, better yet, if you start hunting and you bring me the food and allow me to start preserving it during the hungry season, your and my family will eat good. Now the lion thought about this and he said, yo, that's a good idea. But he says, look, I'm going to invest in your idea. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to hunt like I never hunted before. But I need to make sure that you will take care of my family. And Brother Jackyll looked at him hurt. He said, Brother Lion, why would you even ask me something like that? Of course, I'll take care of your family. The whole time, Brother Jackyll got his hands behind his back with his fingers crossed, which all those people out there that's really observant knows that means that he is lying. Not lying like, but telling a lie. Well, anyway, Brother Lion runs off immediately and starts hunting. And he catches a gazelle and he brings it back to the Jackyll. And the Jackyll prepares it and cuts the meat up and does what he does. And every day, the lion for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks is bringing in massive amounts of food. And he never goes home because he's trusting that the Jackyll is taking care of his family. So finally, after a month of being out here hunting and knowing that he got the hungry season beat this year, he goes home to check on his family. So as he approaches his den and goes in, he sees that his children ribs are showing and they're laying on the ground weak like they are on the verge of death, and his wife is doing the same. And he looks at his wife and says, what's going on here? Why are you hungry? She said, husband, Jackyll would come around and drop off little bits of food saying that you wasn't doing that good out in the hunt. So we was waiting and hoping that one day you would eventually do well enough so that we could get some more food. And the lion is furious now because he's been bringing home all types of stuff. And he got enough food to not only last through hungry season, but possibly to last 6 to 9 months. Now, he's not the smartest person in the world, but he definitely knows that he's been bringing enough food to not only feed his family, but to feed the Jackyll's family and have plenty left. So he runs off to the Jackyll's den. And when he approaches the Jackyll den, he finds that it is empty. And he is really furious now. So he uses his sensitive sense of smell and he tracks down the Jackyll. And the Jackyll knew that the lion would be furious. Didn't know how to get to the top. You will always end up sliding back down. So the lion ran up to it, and the Jackyll was expecting it. He just didn't know exactly what date, but every now and then he would look out. And this time he looked out and he seen the lion coming with a ferocity that was just, he could feel it all the way from the cave. And the lion ran up and the Jackyll was sitting out there and he seen the lion and he said, hey, brother lion. And the lion stops and looks up and says, how dare you call me brother? Leaving my family to starve after you promised to feed them. Jackyll said, whatever are you talking about? Now, the Jackyll had already laid out the plan. He already knew what type of discussion he was going to have. So what he did was he took a buffalo skin and hung it up in the cave. and hung it up tight so that it would sound like every time he hit it, it would sound as if he was beating something or someone. And he told his family, now y'all listen, when I come in and I strike this skin, I want you to scream like I'm beating you and stay out of sight. So as the lion approached, the lion said, how dare you call me brother after you, and you have not been feeding my family. And the lion says, how dare you? And Brother Jackyll looks back at him down and says, Brother Lion, what are you talking about? He says, my family told me that you have not been bringing home their portion of my hunt, and I am very upset. And Jackyll said, that's funny. I've been sending my wife over there with food every day. I don't understand what's going on. I know what it is. My wife is playing with me. She's playing both of us. Hold on, I'm going to beat her. So he goes into the cave, he grabs a stick, waves it so that the lion can see it, and goes into the dark cave, and he starts hitting the buffalo skin. And as he starts hitting the skin, his wife starts screaming, no, ow, ow. And the little pup start, don't feed our mommy, don't feed our mommy. And he's in there putting on a show, and his wife is putting on a show, and his kids should get Oscars for how well they're performing. And he goes out the cave breathing hard. He says, I apologize for that, Brother Lion. Come on up here and get some food for you and your family. So Lion starts trying to climb the hill, and the jackal disappears in the cave because the jackal know that the lion can't get up because he don't know the secret way up. And he slides down, and he becomes exhausted and tired. And finally, Jackyll look out the cave and say, Brother Lion, stop playing and get on up here. He says, Lion looks up and says, Brother Jackyll, I can't get up. He says, what? He said, yes, I keep sliding down the face of the mountain. Hold on. He said, I'm going to throw you down a rope to help you up, and we'll pull you up. So he throws down a rope, and the lion ties it around his waist and grabs on and pulls. Let the jackal know, and the jackal and his family start pulling, and they pull, and they pull, and they pull, and they pull, and they pull. And just as the lion gets halfway, the jackal takes a knife and pulls one more time and cuts the rope. And the rope snaps, and the lion falls and breaks his arm. He gets up holding his sore arm, and Jackyll looks down and says, Brother Lion, what happened? Lion said, the rope must have broke. He said, are you all right? He said, yeah, I'm a little bit bruised, but I'm all right. So he runs into the cave, and he says, I'm going to kill my wife for giving me that cheap rope. She's playing us. And he goes in, and he starts hitting this buffalo skin. Boom, boom, boom. And the family starts screaming. Ah, ah. They put on the performance of a lifetime. And the jackal comes out breathing hard. I apologize for that, Brother Lion. Them giving me that cheap rope. This time we're going to use a buffalo skin rope. So he throws down another rope, and Lion takes his good arm and ties it around his waist. And the family start pulling again. And they pull, and they pull, and they pull. And when he makes it past halfway, they pull. They pull. He gets to 3/4 of the way up, and they pull. And Lion's nose is just at the edge of the cave, and he could just look in, and he could see the pot of the meat cooking, and he could see strips of meat that's been dried hanging, and his mouth starts to water. And just as he's able to just almost reach up and pull himself with his one good arm, the jackal cuts the rope, and the lion plunges, boom, hit the ground. Now he's totally dazed and really hurt this time. So Brother Lion looks up, dazed and dizzy looking up, and the whole world seems to be spinning, and the jackal hides his laughter, look down and say, Brother Lion, what happened? He said the rope must have broke again. He says, I'm going to kill my fam. Oh, my goodness, my wife did it again. Hold on, I'll be right back. And he runs in. He starts beating the skin. And the animals and the jackals are screaming so terribly. The Brother Lion screams up, Brother Jackal, stop. It is not their fault that the rope broke. And Jackal comes out breathing hard. He says, Brother Lion, I won't be able to pull you up today. But what we gonna do is we gonna throw you some meat down and you could come back tomorrow. And we will pull you up so we could give you your proper portion. But we will throw enough down for you and your family. Now, the jackal had been preparing for this moment for a very long time. He had already had a nice rock cooking on top of the fire, and he pulled the rock out with a big stick, him and his wife, and they wrapped it in some nice juicy buffalo fat and wrapped some skin around that. And it was a nice size. They said, first we're going to throw you some down so that you can eat and get your strength. Then we'll throw you down some for your family. So the jackal grabs this big lump of meat with the rock in the center, a big rock, and he throws it down, and the lion waits to catch it in his mouth because his arms are messed up. And when he catches it, the weight of the rock smashes the lion, and the lion falls down dead. Now, for the kids, I changed the story that the lion is just seriously hurt, but in the actual story, the lion is dead. So now you know why the jackal and the lion up to this day do not get along. This has been Brother Hatim, and I hope that you enjoyed that. If you enjoyed that, send me some comments so that I can continue with the stories, because I got some other stories that are just off the hook. I just had to get through the Jackyll series. I'm going to have some more on the Jackyll maybe in the future, but I'm going to keep this going for a while. But this has been Brother Hatim. Please check me out on GeometryJourney.com. Also, you can see my blogs. You can also listen to my radio shows. Be sure to also check out my books. I got some more coming out, but right now I have available The Player's Pyramid, which is a self-mastery book or a self-help book. The Lost Art of Storytelling, which is a storybook that's based on using the stories to help develop your sales and get the lessons out. Also, I have Geometry Journey Workbook, which is a book of proverbs and quotes that you can use, and also helping to move towards self-mastery. Now, the point that I want to stress, and then I'm done, is get the lesson from the story. Are you the lion, or are you the jack, or are you some type of mixture of both? And where are you in your life? Are you on the receiving end like the lion, or are you on the giving end like the jackal? And on whichever end you are on, what is the seeds that you are sowing that you will have to recoup in the future? Because remember, reciprocity is always there, because the jackal gets his, believe that. But this has been Brother Hatim. I'd like to thank you for tuning in. And with that, I say peace.